Well, we're back again with the ZIFA acting president, Gift Banda. Let's touch on the issue of that CAF letter that states that. Well, let's start off with the money issue before we go to issues of legitimacy. Let's go to the money issue where they say ZIFA is suspended, you're not entitled to use any CAF or FIFA funds. How have we stopped using the CAF funds? And secondly, how is then ZIFA operating going forward? We know that FIFA and CAF have in the past, um, like a member of FIFA and CAF, heavily relied on funding from those two associations.
Thank you, Mehluli, once more. I think when we got the letter from CAF, we took note of the contents that were in. It was various contents. I will try to touch on them, all of them that were written to us. But I'll first start with the issue of the funds that is burning in the mouth of a lot of people. We are a law-abiding association. We met as a board and agreed that we'll cease operating from the ZIFA account that has monies that were given to us by FIFA. CAF has not given us any money, so the money that we're talking about is FIFA money, not the CAF money. But for the avoidance of doubt, we have said we are stopping using until we appraise CAF where we really think they erred in coming up with that a decision. Let me start with the happenings on the 23rd, the EGM that happened on the 23rd. Mehluli, that AGM was done according to the ZIFA constitution. Let's not forget that we accept that we're suspended by FIFA, but in our suspension, FIFA didn't suspend the operations of the ZIFA constitution. That's the first point that we need to all understand. That we're suspended for participating and exercising our rights as a FIFA member. But our constitution was never suspended. We held our EGM according to the ZIFA constitution, the constitution that binds all footballing people together. A due notice, a proper due notice was called. And every person who was being charged was given an opportunity to what? To respond. Machana, Kamambo, and Malandule acknowledged by writing letter to the conveners of the EGM that their bail condition didn't allow them to what? To attend. But the conveners of the EGM went a step further by seeking writing to the prosecutor general for relaxation of the bail conditions to allow those particular members to stand, to come in and participate. That their lawyers made it a point to write that they can't attend because of their bail condition is an acknowledgement of that the EGM was taking place, right? And the resolutions of the EGM, after the EGM sat and decided to revoke the mandate of Malandule, Kamambo, and Machana, didn't take effect until after 30 days. Our constitution says the resolutions of the EGM takes effect after 30 days. It's a window for anyone who's saying, who has got any queries about the EGM to raise their issues of how the EGM would have happened, a chance to either appeal against the decision of the Lokozen or whatever it might be. But Nothing happened in those particular 30 days until those resolutions became binding. We then can't have people who are now masquerading as ZIFA officials, knowing pretty well that their mandate was revoked and they never had any query. It's absurd for even CAF and FIFA to be listening to those particular people. We are raising that with FIFA in our next communication. We are taking the communication that came from CAF as a proper window of opportunity to address certain other issues about legitimacy. That we are bona fide members of the ZIFA. The board that is running ZIFA at the present moment were all voted for in December 2018. None of the people that are there were the pick from the SRC, because people need to understand that properly. That we are the bona fide members of the what? Of the ZIFA. Our legitimacy is born out of a ZIFA Congress, elective Congress that happened in 2018. Right? That the same ZIFA Congress decided to revoke some of the members representing or some of the members' mandate. Is the right thing that they've done. They've done it according to the Constitution. So there's no one who can question what the ZIFA Congress have done. And the ones who were supposed to appeal if they thought the EGM happened unprocedurally, they know they were supposed to appeal at a certain period of time, which is given to according to our Constitution. If you remember, Mehluli, taking my own personal experience with the ZIFA issues, when I was suspended by my equal colleagues, I didn't run to FIFA, but I fought my case within the domestic remedies, and I won until they found it fit to uplift my suspension. I urge my equal colleagues, if they are proper footballing people, to know that is the functions of our Constitution, and everything that we did according to the Constitution. So I'm saying to everyone who cares to listen that the Parliament of Football made a decision on the 23rd, and that decision is binding. Neither FIFA nor CAF can interfere with our Constitution that is registered with them, because everything that was done according to to the Constitution. The issue of the money is, for me, it's a sideshow, because FIFA, by knowing that we operate according to our Constitution, know that the money that got into that account is the money that is supposed to be used by the executive. That FIFA decide to listen to a person who's operating outside the ZIFA executive and the ZIFA assembly, it's another issue for another day. We'll address it with FIFA, because it's a first for me to have a CEO that was suspended, having his suspension uplifted, but the same CEO doesn't even want to come to work for starters, but he continues using the ZIFA letterheads to cause a lot of harm to the association than good. It's unfortunate.
So you stopped using the funds from FIFA.
Yes, we have.
What then happens? How does the association? Are you going to pour out money from your own coffers to run the association?
I've got a message for those who are thinking that they are going to suffocate us to not performing our duties. They are in for a very rude shock, because we are going to operate. There are quite a lot of goodwill out there that we do have, and we know that we are going to operate, because all that we do have is for the love of our football, which we want to reform, so that when we return to international football, we return with a bang. Surely you know there is no country that has been ever suspended forever. The suspension do come, and we know, and we are certain we'll engage SRC so that FIFA can lift our suspension. But by that particular time, we need to be ready to play our football.
So, how are the engagements? We've seen you meeting firstly with locally you've visited former ZIFA presidents Kadbe Dube, Philip Chiangwa, and then we've seen you going out there to meet with our president. How have been the engagements that is locally at regional level? Uh, how have been those engagements with COSAFA, CAF, FIFA, and are you confident, seated there, confident that Zimbabwe suspension will be lifted under your leadership?
Um, I can safely say I'm confident 100%, Metluli. The suspension is going to be lifted. But before we talk about the lifting of the suspension, we need to engage all stakeholders and carry on our own reforms so that by the time our suspension is lifted, we are in a good space that when we are starting to play our football, none of these things that have been bebuilding the National Association for a very long time, it must be the thing of the past. So we know our the journey that we need to travel, and we are going to travel it with everyone who's a soccer loving person. We still have got quite a long way to go. The just last weekend, the strategic planning committee met, and we are expecting something that is very good from them in terms of our football philosophy and where we really want to go as a nation as far as football is concerned. We want to have an identity. So I can safely say during my leadership, ZIFA is, this FIFA suspension is going to be lifted, I know.
Well, viewers, you heard it all from the acting ZIFA president, that's Gift Banda, as we got to talk about the alleged siphoning of funds, the letter from CAF, and a lot of other things that are happening at ZIFA, that is our Zimbabwe Football Association, that is currently under suspension from FIFA. And like you heard it from him that Zimbabwe will be soon. I mean, we're hoping that soon be out of that FIFA suspension under his leadership. Keep on subscribing to our YouTube channel that is out. I mean, Sunday News on YouTube. And of course, we are there on the Sunday News on Twitter, on Facebook, or Instagram. We are there. Keep on subscribing. Click on the subscribe button. We really need those subscribers on our YouTube channel. And of course, my name is Gift Banda, and hope to catch up soon.